Ever get that feeling, like we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
that there's a whole other world hidden just out of sight?
It's easy to forget how much exists outside of our everyday experience.
Well, get ready for a serious change in perspective, because today we're going microscopic. We're diving deep into a universe only visible with a microscope, and let me tell you, it's going to change how you see, well, everything.
We've got some incredible macro photography and videos lined up. Some of it's surprisingly beautiful, and some, well, let's just say it might make you a little squeamish.
All right, let's jump right in with something that might make you think twice about your next picnic. We're looking at an extreme close-up, and I mean extreme close-up, of an ant's face.
Yeah, most people don't think of ants as the stuff of nightmares, but when you see this level of detail, those mandibles, the texture of the exoskeleton, it's kind of like looking at a creature from another planet, even though it's something we see, like, every day.
I know, right? And those jaws, forget about intimidating. Those things look like they could take your finger off.
Yeah.
It really makes you realize that even the smallest creatures can pack a punch.
It really highlights how microscopy can completely change our understanding of something we thought we knew. I mean, we see ants all the time, but we never really see them.
Totally. Speaking of seeing things in a new light, check out this next image. It's an ultra close-up of an ant's eye taken by photographer Abdul Latif. His work often focuses on the unexpected beauty of the insect world.
And this image is a perfect example. It's incredible. Those hundreds of tiny lenses all working together to create an image, it's just mind-blowing.
It really makes you wonder what they see, doesn't it? Like, do they see the world the same way we do?
That's a good question that's fascinated scientists for years, and the truth is we don't have a definitive answer. We do know that insects perceive the world very differently from us, relying on senses and processing information in ways we're still trying to understand.
Wow, that's wild. It's a good reminder that there's so much we still don't know about the world around us, even about creatures we encounter every single day.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's the things we think we know best that hold the most surprises.
Speaking of surprises, get ready for this next image. It's not for the faint of heart. We're diving into the world of parasites with a microscopic view of a tapeworm's head.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Ew, gross. But stick with me here because this image is a powerful example of how life adapts to survive in even the most extreme environments.
Okay, I'll admit it's not exactly something I want to see right before lunch, but you're right, the science behind it is fascinating. This creature has evolved to thrive inside the intestines of other animals. Those hooks and suckers you see, those are specifically designed to attach to the host's intestinal wall, making sure the tapeworm has a constant source of food.
It's a parasitic lifestyle, for sure, but you gotta admire the sheer ingenuity of evolution. Life finds a way, right?
I think admire might be a strong word. But you're right, it does make you think about how life finds a way, even in the most unexpected places. Okay, ready to leave the creepy crawlies behind for a bit and take a closer look at something a little closer to home.
Let's do it.
This next video zooms in on something we all know and love, human skin. But trust me, you've never seen it quite like this before.
It's amazing how something we experience as smooth and uniform can become this alien landscape under a microscope.
It's like we're looking at a vast desert with canyons and valleys, not the back of our hand.
And those canyons and valleys are actually the contours of our skin cells, all packed together. It really gives you a sense of the sheer scale and complexity of the human body.
And to think this is just a tiny glimpse of what's going on beneath the surface, it really makes you appreciate the incredible design of our own bodies.
Absolutely. We often take our bodies for granted, but when you see the intricate processes happening at a cellular level, it really is nothing short of miraculous.
Speaking of miraculous, get ready for your morning coffee to look a whole lot more interesting. This next video zooms in on, you guessed it, a cup of joe.
And suddenly, it's not just a beverage anymore. It's a swirling microcosm of activity. The way the light plays off those tiny bubbles, the movement of the liquid, it's honestly mesmerizing.
I never thought I'd say this, but coffee is actually kind of beautiful up close.
Oh.
Who knew? Okay, time to trade our coffee for something a little greener, a leaf.
And this isn't just any leaf. We're about to witness one of the most important processes on Earth in action: photosynthesis.
Exactly. This video zooms in on a leaf to show us the stomata, those tiny pores that plants use to breathe.
Now, when we say breathe, we're obviously not talking about lungs and oxygen in the same way humans breathe. Plants have their own fascinating way of exchanging gases with the atmosphere.
So what exactly are we looking at here?
Those tiny openings, the stomata, act like gateways on the surface of the leaf, regulating the flow of carbon dioxide, oxygen, and water vapor.
So it's like they're actually inhaling and exhaling.
It's a beautiful analogy. And this process, this exchange of gases, isn't just essential for the plant itself. It's vital for all life on Earth.
That's right. Plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, basically creating the air we breathe. It's easy to forget that something as simple as a leaf plays such a crucial role in our planet's ecosystem.
It really is a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all living things.
From a single leaf to the air we breathe. Pretty incredible stuff. Okay, are you ready for something a little more, shall we say, fiery?
Let's turn up the heat.
This next video shows a matchstick igniting in slow motion. And it's way more dramatic than you might think.
What we normally perceive as just a quick burst of flame is actually this intricate dance of energy, all playing out at a microscopic level.
It's like a miniature fireworks show. Those bursts of light, the way the flame spreads. Who knew something so ordinary could be so mesmerizing?
It's a great example of how microscopy can reveal the hidden beauty in everyday phenomena. We often take things like fire for granted, but when you see the intricate processes involved in combustion, it gives you a whole new appreciation for the power of nature.
Speaking of hidden beauty, have you ever really looked at smoke up close?
It's not something you think about much, is it? We usually see it as something fleeting, insubstantial.
Exactly. But this next video, shot with macro photography, will definitely change that. It shows smoke swirling and dancing, almost as if it's alive.
And those swirling patterns are actually the result of complex air currents and the movement of those tiny particles within the smoke itself. It's a beautiful illustration of, fluid dynamics in action.
It's mesmerizing the way it moves and changes shape. I could watch it for hours.
Yeah.
Okay, from fire and smoke to something a little more life-giving oxygen.
A fundamental element for life as we know it, and one that we honestly rarely stop to appreciate.
This next video shows us oxygen production on a leaf in real time. Remember those stomata we were talking about earlier? Well, now we're actually seeing them in action as those tiny bubbles of oxygen are released from the leaf.
We're literally witnessing the creation of the air we breathe. It's a powerful reminder that even the smallest organisms play a vital role in maintaining the delicate balance of our planet.
It's incredible. All those tiny bubbles, each one a little burst of oxygen. It really makes you appreciate the power of nature, doesn't it?
It really does. And it highlights the importance of protecting our planet and its ecosystems. I mean, without plants, we wouldn't have the oxygen we need to survive.
Okay, get ready for things to get a little more intense with this next video. It shows white blood cells attacking a virus.
It's like watching a microscopic battle unfold right before our eyes. It's a powerful reminder of the incredible defense mechanisms our bodies have evolved to fight off infection.
Seriously. You can see those white blood cells chasing down the virus, surrounding it. It's amazing to see our own immune system in action like that.
And those white blood cells are like the warriors of our immune system. They're constantly patrolling our bodies, seeking out and destroying any foreign invaders like viruses and bacteria. They're essential for keeping us healthy.
Talk about a fight for survival.
Okay.
After that action-packed scene, let's shift gears a bit and zoom in on something a little more everyday, a pen tip.
You might think you know what a pen tip looks like, but under an electron microscope, it takes on a whole new dimension.
It's true. Instead of being smooth, it's actually quite rough and jagged, almost mountainous. You'd never guess that something we use to write and draw could be so textured.
And that texture is actually important for how well a pen writes. The roughness helps to grip the paper and distribute the ink evenly. It's a great example of how even the smallest details can have a big impact on functionality.
Speaking of things not being what they seem, get ready for this next image, shark skin.
Get ready to have your mind blown. Because under a microscope, shark skin looks like it's covered in tiny teeth.
I know, right? It's actually kind of terrifying. It makes sense, though, considering how tough and agile they are in the water.
Those tiny scales, called dermal denticles, are what give shark skin its rough, sandpapery feel. But they're not just there for protection. They actually help sharks move through water with incredible speed and efficiency.
Really? How so?
Well, the shape and texture of the denticles create tiny vortices in the water, which reduces drag and turbulence. And that allows sharks to swim faster and with less effort. It's a perfect example of how nature has evolved to optimize for speed and agility.
It's incredible how something so small can make such a big difference. Nature is full of surprises. And speaking of surprises, get ready for this close-up shot of spider eyes by photographer Javier Ruperez.
Now, most people are familiar with the classic image of a spider with 8 eyes, but this image captures something a little different. These eyes belong to a jumping spider, and they're remarkable for their complexity and, honestly, their beauty.
They're almost beautiful in a strange way. Those shimmering colors, those intricate patterns. I wonder what it would be like to see the world through those eyes. Okay, brace yourselves, because this next image is not for the faint of heart. A needle puncturing skin under a scanning electron microscope. It's not exactly the kind of thing you want to see right before bed, but it really drives home how incredibly sharp a needle is at a microscopic level.
It makes you realize that even something as simple as a needle piercing the skin, it's actually this whole complex process, multiple layers of tissue, nerves, blood vessels. It's amazing.
It really makes you appreciate the resilience of the human body, doesn't it? I mean, we put our body through a lot, and they just keep on going.
It's a testament to how adaptable and, well, regenerative our bodies are. It's incredible when you think about it.
Well, I think we've just about scratched the surface of the microscopic universe. It's been quite a journey.
It has. From the intricate details of insect anatomy to the hidden beauty of everyday objects, I think we've shown that there's a whole world out there just waiting to be discovered. All we have to do is look a little closer.
That's so true. It makes you realize how much we just take for granted in our everyday lives. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be looking at the world with fresh eyes after this.
Me too. It's a good reminder to, never lose that sense of wonder and curiosity. There's always something new to learn, something incredible to discover, just beyond what we can normally see.
Absolutely. So tell us, what image or video blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. And for more thrilling explorations and to continue diving into the unseen world, make sure to check out One Rel Lifestyle channel. Stay curious, stay safe, and share the marvels you've discovered with a friend.